I love shit like that because that's engineering. You know what I'm saying? Like I love ingenuity, like shit like that. Like man,
that shit love for real.
No, for real, cause man, like and that shit that we come from. You know what I'm saying? Not to get away from the topic, but that shit we come from manufacturing, engineering. You know what I'm saying? And we're not properly taught about that side of us. We ain't taught about our agricultural side and what we was doing with just, you know what I'm saying,
everything.
Herbs and spice, right? Just everything, you know what I'm saying. So definitely,
just to make sure that we cover everything in this video. All right, so I'm gonna intro it. What's up, y'all? I am here with
Kevin Sales, or Kevin Herman Sales Jr. III. Most people know me as, even though that's not my real name. Real name, yeah, that's interesting. And people that most people that hear that, they be like, but I thought that was your name. Like, that's actually not my real name. Like, my real name is Kevin Herman Sales. And I'm technically a junior, but my middle name is not even the same as my father's. So I'm technically not even a junior. But, but I named Kevin.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So
I got my big brother like that.
Oh, right. That's what I mean. So, yeah, but a lot of people would be shocked to hearing that. Like, what? Like, his name not really Kevin Herman Sales Jr. III? Like, Jr. III?
That's what your name say.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, everybody just know me as that.
I like that. I like it like that, though.
And I liked it like that just because 3, it was very symbolic. I really don't even know why I had that, but I always looked at that as like, I guess, prestigious because they always wrote it in Roman numerals. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's kind of why I looked at it like that. But
and it's also like you're the 3rd generation
type shit. Yeah, the whole time though. And
tell the people who you are and what you do.
Oh, right. So I'm right. So like I said, Kevin. My artist name is actually so symbolic. SOS. SOSYML. I don't know how to spell symbolic, goddammit. SOSYMBOLIC. That's so symbolic. My artist name. My producer name probably might be Cosmic Chaos. And
I like that.
yeah, because I'm going with Cos because that's an ancient Kemetic principle, which is we have a higher Ka, a lower Ka, which is a higher consciousness, higher low. That's what I believe those words came from. Ka, consciousness. I feel like that's where it comes from. But those were our original principles. Ka, Ra. These are all just what I'm saying, different forms of us, and Bob meaning the body, Ka, which was it was the culmination of everything. So that's kind of why I wanted Cosmic Chaos, and then it sounds like it's cosmic chaos. You know what I'm saying? But it sounds like cosmic chaos.
Because like when you think of cosmic, you think of the stars.
Right, of course.
And the stars is scattered.
Yeah.
And that's chaos within itself because there's no order in chaos, in the scatteredness of chaos.
I fucks with that. I never looked at it like that because it is kind of like the universe is kind of based off of this type of randomness, and you know what I mean?
I'm ready for it.
No, but the universe is kind of based off of this dance between randomness and precision. You know what I'm saying? Precision. So it's kind of like through the chaos is born the template for whatever could be order itself or structure, because it's chaos. And I guess it's kind of like you get to a point where it's so much chaos, or rather it's so much randomness, it's inevitable for something to happen.
That's how patterns come.
Exactly.
That's like with the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah.
Like it's all chaotic. It's all chaotic, but they noticed how everything took the shape of this pattern.
Yeah, definitely.
Like no matter what, like 5, 3, 8, like the numbers. It's all in the numbers.
Yeah.
So it's like we may look at it as chaos, but nature moves by numbers.
Right.
So it's like even if all the stars are scattered up there, like just thrown up there, it's some kind of patterns there somewhere.
Of course,
that just happened because it happened that way. It ain't got nothing to do with what we did.
No, of course.
But because we can't get this deep that fast.
I mean, that's the whole. Yeah, no, right.
I got the quick questions.
I didn't even finish saying who I was and what I did.
Finish. The floor is yours.
No, I mean, definitely. So I rap, produce, sound engineer, graphic design, animate. That's what I went to school for. I went to school for animation and visual effects. And but I kind of feel like subconsciously I lost motivation when I was in that school, because everything I was learning was the same stuff I was learning on YouTube. So I feel like subconscious, looking back, obviously hindsight is always 20/20, but looking back, I'm like, I feel like that's kind of why, because in school I never really had motivation. I was always like smart, or what you can say is smart. That's a whole separate. That's a whole it's a conversation we can talk about. But I was always considered different, or just thinking outside the box. But just academically,
what I call it is intelligence.
Yeah,
he's always intelligent.
Yeah,
because that encompasses everything. Because like intelligence is something that's in you.
Yeah,
smart is something that they label you.
Damn, I like that. I ain't never heard that. Wow, I
never said that before, but that's true.
Yeah, for real though. Like, man, because it's intelligence, intel. Like, damn, it's intel. No, you right. Damn, that's deep. I like that.
For sure.
And, but yeah, so that's what I do. I write, I write poetry. I write raps, obviously. I want to write books and philosophy. What?
Awesome. I gotta let the people hear you freestyle before the end of this conversation.
Oh, I bet. Hell yeah.
For sure. Because last time you blew my mind with the words that you said in such a small time. Like, I need the people to feel that.
Yeah.
Like I need them to think.
I bet. Hey,
right now, I want to know, what is this chapter in your life called?
I would call this chapter in my life. Let me think. Beyond polarity drama.
Oh, say that one more time.
Beyond polarity drama.
What that mean?
So, polarity drama is basically us getting stuck in what is right, what is wrong, and instead of understanding everything is objective and everything, it is based off of what is the outcome. What do you want? What's your intention? A lot of times we, in the Black community, we fall victim to assuming that everybody around the world has the same interests as us. And it's kind of like, it's hard for us to believe that they could all be conspiring against us in a way. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we don't want to believe that, because when we in public, they nice to us. We walk past, give us a little smile. So subconsciously, we don't feel like, oh, they're not the enemy. You know what I'm saying? And not to label them as just the enemy, like they're all bad. But when it comes to systemic problems, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to systemic problems and things that's actually happening, things that's in legislation and laws and all those things that's happening to disenfranchise a group of people, it's kind of obvious at this point. But not to get away from what we was talking about, I kind of forgot what we was talking about.
That's what we was talking about. Because I ain't gonna lie, what you like, this is alignment. This is true alignment, and I know it is because the conversation I had this morning. Like, that's why I just said, "Ooh, like that," because what you hit that shit right on the head.
What I hit?
Okay, so I was talking about the R. Kelly situation.
Okay, all right.
So we was arguing. We wasn't really arguing, but we was just stating the facts. Like me, I went to a legal-based high school, and a lot of times when people they talk about the R. Kelly situation, they going based off of how they feel. They talk about the shouldas, the couldas, and the wouldas. Like what should happen, what would be happening, what could be happening.
No,
that's all that they focus on.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you looking at it from the laws of legality, like the actual legal, how they gonna like when they do the legal proceedings,
right?
These are the things that they gonna consider.
Facts.
So it's like it ain't about what's good or bad. It ain't about what's black or white. It's about the whole law is based in that gray area.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all open for interpretation. And I was just telling them, like, I totally agree with their point. Like the man should be punished for what he did. But we not gonna talk about we not gonna act like the parents didn't groom their children to do that.
Facts.
And like they should be punished as well.
Facts. And I like that order. And on top of that, we're not gonna act like the people that's pushing this entire agenda is not the ones that's doing this on a mass scale. Like,
and then it's like they said he's rightfully in jail. That man ain't like jail. Like the people think that jail and prison is the place is where you go to punish people. No, I said they could all go to hell for all I care, because God got the final say. So like you saying that these people should go to jail, but all right, you send them to jail so you and your working dollars, you and your paying dollars can pay for them to eat, sleep, drink, shit, and do whatever the fuck they want to do. Because, like, in a sense, like, yeah, we saying, like, send them to jail, but you paying for them to live there.
I never thought about it like that.
So it's like, and that's my whole thing. Like, everything that we do, we paying for them to be there. So it's like, yeah, you want to keep saying send them to jail, but it's like, like you want to lose more money. You want to pay more money in taxes so people like this can live comfortably. Because it's like we paying for their rehab. We paying for them to like for them to be held accountable to their actions. Okay, cool. But why they gotta come out of my pockets? Why they can't just like why it has to be something like that? Like my thing is like you steady sending these people to jail for what though? Because it's like the CEO he brought up a great point. He said that you send them to jail to be rehabilitated.
Okay.
But then what? They don't have they can't do much once they get out because you sending them to this place to be rehabilitated. Right. But then it's like what else they supposed to do? You put everything in place to make sure that they don't have a say so in what life after that. You put things in place to make sure like they can never grow out of that stigma. It's kind of
to me it kind of sounds like you're talking about the school to prison pipeline.
It's all of it.
And I know you're talking about R. Kelly specifically, but
it's all
together. It is all together. But specifically with his situation, I think it's exactly like how you said. They're gonna have to look at the parents and everybody that's involved. Like, we're not gonna just be like, oh, he's a bad man, he lock him in jail. We want the worst things to happen to this man. And we not talking about the parents who allowed this, and the people who behind, who's producing this stuff, the studios and what all these deals was taking. We're not putting our consciousness there, and once we start putting our consciousness in different places, then things will really start changing, because they kind of have us in this illusion of democracy. Dr. Umar talks about this a lot. Like, we kind of are stuck on Democrat versus Republican when that's not our dichotomy. Our dichotomy is freedom or oppression, liberation or oppression. Like, period. We not looking at the bigger picture. We
subjecting ourselves, so we ignore the objective.
Facts. That's a bar. Nah, for real.
Like, literally. And
exactly.
And that was my whole point in saying all of that. Like, we subjecting ourselves to the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Exactly.
We're not paying attention to the bigger objective. Like,
all
the shit is wrong. That's why I said they can all go to hell. Like, put it in God's hands. Because regardless of how I feel about it, it ain't about what I feel. It's about what the law says when it comes down to those situations. Because, like, that's what we're arguing.
Right.
We ain't even arguing our own principles in it. Because if we was arguing our own principles in it, street justice would have been done.
Right. No, of course. We don't have no systems, and we don't have no organization.
Exactly.
Really, that's
we
the
don't
main
have
thing.
A political system of our own.
Of course not, because we get, like I said, we fall victim of this democratic Republican shit, and not understanding that if we want to have a chance at changing some laws, then we're gonna at least have to have independent parties. And because that way we can finance them, the people who's doing it, and then if we finance them, then of course they're gonna do what we say. If we just falling victim to, we're gonna vote Democrat, vote Republican, they both getting funded by the same people, and they can push any type of agenda that they want to push.
I feel like you would eat this up. Okay, so you ever heard of Dr. Clyde Anderson?
I think I heard of him.
You should. I feel like you would love his Breakfast Club interview. I'm actually saying it to you.
All right, cool.
But he gave a five story building theory. Like, I really want to expand on this and really do it.
All right.
Okay, so bottom tier is group economics. So we as a community, we come together and we put all our money and resources together. We build our own economic foundation through a group so we can have our money circulating throughout the circle of all of us. Cool. So then now we take that money, we go to that second tier. That's where you buy the politicians. You get the people to go in these rooms and talk the things that we can't do. Have the conversation that we were just having when you say you put your consciousness in that field. Have them put their consciousness in that field. Like them utilize their skills and their you gotta have people with high level consciousness. You can't have the people that's vibrating low that want to argue all the time. You gotta have the people that know exactly their intentions in going into these rooms. So it's like you fund those people. You have them go into these rooms. So then now. That paves the way for you to get to that third tier where you have your courts. That's where you have your lawyers. That's where you have all the people that's gonna fight for your rights. Their sole purpose is to legally protect everything, every asset and liability that we have.
No, facts. I like
and
that.
Then that's where you have your fourth tier. And that's the media. That's where you have your news. That's where you controlling the people's ears. That's how you get the mass. You track the masses to what you are doing. Like you do that inflow outflow thing, right? So then all of that, like all of it is funded from that group economics. And then that's where the top tier is, where the education. That's when you teach the kids how to do it, so you can rinse and repeat the same recipe.
I like that. No, of course. I mean, no, definitely. I mean, that's basically what we're gonna have to do, and but in order to do that, we're gonna have to organize, and we're gonna have to build these institutions. You know what I'm saying? And that's our whole thing. We make too much. We have too large a spending power. Like we have, I think, is it $3 trillion right now? Probably $3 trillion every year.
It's more than that, for real.
That's what I'm saying. Like for real. Like not including illegal money and stuff that we're doing. Like,
that's why I said it's more than that.
For real, you're right. And but regardless, that's crazy. $3 trillion to have $3 trillion in our hands and we just squandering it. We doing nothing with it.
Imagine.
That's what I'm saying. But they don't want us to imagine what we can do with that type of money, because what we doing with it is already being done with that type of money. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's 30 billion being spent on just hair care, eyelashes, weave, and makeup, and then on 30 billion a year, and then we got 4 billion on liquor, and then like all this money is just adding up, and it's like when you really stop and think about it, it's like, what are we doing?
For real.
You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is, because this is the thought that I had leaving from the train on the way here. We talking about the same law that made weed legal, just because they was missing out on money from it.
I mean, we talking about the same law that said slavery was legal. So it's like we got to take it back to, we can't get too caught up on laws, and you know what I'm saying, because this law is nothing compared to the laws of nature, you know, the laws of physics.
And that's the one.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that people don't realize.
Of course.
Because it's like we so caught up in this constitutional law that we ignore the Declaration of Independence. Like they one and the same. Like the Declaration of Independence say you have a right to love, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So everything that they say that the Constitution contradicts, everything that the Constitution say we can't do is contradicted by the Declaration of Independence.
Right.
Like as
I see what you mean.
Everything. I'm even talking about the Social Security cards and birth certificates.
Yeah, I mean that's the game that they gotta play. They gotta act like they gotta act like man, I can't just forget what you was just saying.
About the it's on the tip of my tongue. I'm trying to get how I said it to sum it all up, but it's basically we was talking about the gray area of it all.
Okay.
Like interpreting like the law. It's like basically like you have human law and you have the constitutional law.
Right.
And it's like it's the fact of the universe. Like we have universal laws that we go by. Right. But we live by the man-made rules, and that's our problem.
Yeah, definitely. And right, no, facts. And we get stuck into that type of thinking. We get stuck into I don't know why I keep forgetting what you're saying, but
we get like because it's that mind
it
literally sucks the thought out of you.
And maybe that's what's happening because I'm like, I don't know why every time you say it, it's just going out of my mind.
It may come back after I ask you this question. What is life teaching you right now?
Well, really, life is teaching me just keep doing what I've been doing, keep learning, keep looking at things with an open mind and with an open heart. I think that's the most important thing of my life right now. That's the most important. Look at things from an open mind. Like, don't just say it's this. Don't just say it's that. You got to look at the nuances between everything and look at specifically what's going on. Going back to us getting stuck in thinking what's right or wrong, and going back to polarity drama being the chapter of my life. Like, I'm beyond that. I'm beyond thinking this is right or this is wrong. What are we trying to accomplish? Then we can talk about what's right or wrong. If you trying to sit down in a chair and you doing everything except for sitting down, then you're doing it wrong because that's your objective. You're doing it wrong.
That's where that ADHD brain come in.
Exactly. That's when and 85% of ADHD people don't have a father at the home. So that's why Dr. Umar said ain't no daddy in the house disorder. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Like, we don't have no no balance in our cribs. You know what I'm saying?
Perfect way to say it.
But that's really all it is.
What it is.
That's really all it is. They take the father out of the house, so like
so it
women.
Makes you scatterbrained.
Of course, that was the whole point of breaking up the family structure. That's why it's called nuclear family, because nuclear, is a star. That's kind of how everything is born and how it's birthed. You know what I'm saying? That's the entire universe.
Break that one down. Not gonna lie.
I bet. And but yeah, when they took the father out of the house, because women instill nurturing and love, and then men instill structure and discipline. So when they took the father out of the house, we just running from our mother's nurture and love, but we have no discipline and no structure. So we just
and then also I feel like masculine energy is about that protecting, that protection and that providing.
Facts.
So it's like that's where you consider logic.
Yeah.
Because with women being more emotionally wired, like men are the same way, but women are wired that way because of our womb.
Right.
So it's like with us having like that soul structure, it's that this where that yin and yang come in.
Yeah.
You can't like men bring that light, that white light. Women bring that dark.
The black light that exposes what's actually behind this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because like that's where women thrive because of the womb. Because
of course.
It's when it was like that's where you have that. It's actually a question on it, but that's where you have like is women from a man's rib or is men from a woman's rib. Like I truly believe.
Well, I mean that's my whole thing is when we start dissecting. I mean, that's another thing. We combine and merge religion and religious ideologies with reality, and it's hard not to do that because the English language is not ours, and it was manufactured specifically for that purpose. On top of that, English was based off of the African drum, which is why we have syllable structure and we can rap and do everything like how we can. And so with all of this and us being rhythmic people, that's the perfect recipe to have us being electromagnetically like not decomposed, but disposition or disproportionately being targeted for specific things or for specific messages.
That's how they control our rhythm.
Of course, that's why our entire rhythm is off. Like
exactly.
Because they create, they give us what we need, but then don't tell us what it is.
And that's my whole thing about school. That exact thing. Yeah. Like everything about kids listening. If there's a kid listening, understand that everything that you learn. Me too. But everything that you learn in school, it's all relative. They just don't. They just took the spirit aspect out of school, so you can't see how it all connects.
No, definitely, and I was thinking about that heavily when I was coming out of school. I definitely was thinking about that heavily because it's like at the end of the like you were saying, a lot of people would just say, "Oh, school is bullshit," but let's be nuanced. We got to be more detailed and more specific with what we're saying. Everything in school teaching you is not bullshit, but the way that they teaching you is a lot of times it's bullshit. a lot of times they don't give you practical ways in which you're gonna use this stuff and utilize it in your life. Like they give you the quadratic formula, but then we don't realize when we using the quadratic formula, or if we,
what they did was they took out home ec,
they
took out
too, yeah.
sex ed. They took out cooking. They took out all the things that you would use those skills
that too.
for.
No, that too. No, that's true. No, that's true. They specifically did that because that was the laws. Like because they was trying to take us out, push us back into college, get us in debt, so that we can be in the same. The same cycle.
Our rhythm.
That's exactly.
And it's like that goes back to what I was saying. Like, did a man come from a woman's rib, but a woman come from a man?
Oh, right, back to that.
But look, the reason why I'm connecting them is because like that shows how they conditioned our minds.
Exactly.
Because like I actually just made a video about this last night. You have a belief and you have a knowing. We know what we know.
Of course, no.
That we came from our mother's womb.
Exactly, facts.
But what a lot of people believe is that a woman came from a man's rib.
Facts.
Even though the womb is connected to a woman's rib that the man came from.
And I'm glad that you said that because I'm one of the only people that I know that is constantly promoting the woman as God. God was based off of the black woman, period. And the reason I say that is because before we learn English to even conceptualize what a God could be, or these words, we came from the womb of the black woman, which is the oldest woman on this planet. And I'm always advocating that. So I'm glad that you said that, and I'm always also advocating for the distinction and identifying and separating what we know and what we believe. And a lot of times what we believe gets trapped into what we know, and we think we know. No, that's actually a belief. And my whole thing is, I feel like we need to, when we can identify this, then we can start utilizing our beliefs in different ways. I ain't gonna tell people to get rid of their beliefs because I see we've been conditioned. We hold on to these beliefs. Period. We hold on to these beliefs. Like it's some people that say it's nothing that you can say, it's nothing that you can do to convince them that Jesus is not real or that God is not real. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing that you can say. And if I can't tell you, I'm not telling you to denounce your belief, but I'm telling you, can we agree that before you had that belief, you came from the black woman? Can we agree to that? That's my whole thing. It's beyond your belief, what you came from, and that's what they want to get us away from the most. Irrefutable facts. Just like you said, you hit it right on the head. We know we came from the woman. We believe that we came from this, we came from that. We can whatever.
You can believe whatever.
We can. Thank you, because belief is arbitrary. You can believe in anything. Exactly. And if you believe something that's actually true, you don't believe it anymore. Now that's knowledge. It goes to the knowledge compartment. Exactly. If you know something, because it stays separate. If you know something that's a lie, then that's not.
Is only your belief until it becomes a knowing.
Exactly.
And it's like, that's the thing that people don't understand. Like, that's I've been a real stickler on words. Like, that goes back to what we started off the conversation saying, talking about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Yeah.
Like, those are your beliefs. Those shoulda, coulda, wouldas are beliefs. They are opinions. They're opinionated things. But the facts are your knowing.
Exactly.
Because once you know better, you do better.
Do better. You have no choice. You have no choice. Because you know. So so whatever you're doing, if you know what the outcome is going to be, of course you're not going to do it. If something is not pleasurable to the objective, then you're not going to do it. We're not having the right. We're not having the outcome that we want because we don't know what we're doing. A lot of times we get stuck into our belief so much that we get infatuated with the belief where we just sit back and say, oh, if I think about it, oh, God will do it, Jesus will do it. And we don't understand, at least, my whole thing is I want people to, if you don't get out of religion, I want you to at least look at God as an energy that moves through you instead of something that can move without you. If we can at least, at the very least, start looking at stuff like that, because what we have right now is people that's saying, oh, God can do anything without a shadow of a doubt. But once we start,
kill you too.
And they'll kill you. And my whole thing is, can we at least start saying that God is something that He only works through us? We can talk later down the line to stop calling Him He. later. But right now, let's just focus on He only can work through us. Can we do that? You know what I'm saying? It's like we need to take small steps so we can start disassociating with this Eurocentric way of thinking that we have. You
and
know,
that's why, like now, when I talk about God, whenever I think of God, I say guiding our direction. I don't know who the hell guiding our direction, but I know it's something guiding our direction. Like no matter what. And
I think that my whole thing is I try my best not to use the word God specifically, just because of I know what it was used for and how it was used to oppress us, and how this belief was manufactured in this way to take our stories, take our principles, our properties, take our sacred knowledge, and redistribute it, manipulate it, alter it, and twist it, flip it, do so many things to it, and then give it to us, and we just take it as gospel. That's literally what it is, a gospel. But back to
I was gonna say, like, and that's the main reason why I use God as an acronym. That exact thing.
Oh,
because
yeah,
it's like, us as people, we hold values to these words. So instead of us allowing them to define what the words mean for us, we got to do it for ourselves and be okay with the result of that. Like, I kid you not. Whenever I had this conversation with somebody, I say God, G-O-D, guiding our direction. That is my knowing. That ain't even my belief no more. That is my knowing. Like, I know it's something guiding our direction. We are being guided. By who? It don't matter. I
think I kind of, and not to criticize you, but I kind of think that thinking in terms, because it sounds, and I know you're not separating it, but it'll kind of give that impression when you say it's something guiding, instead, because my whole thing is, I've studied to the point where it's like the definitions of things is what it is. The definitions matter. So consciousness is everything. So when we say conscious, we talking about everything. And when we
something.
Of course. And when we bring the belief and we use the word God, we put God outside of that consciousness, and we think God created this consciousness. We don't understand that consciousness is energy, and the first law of thermodynamics is energy cannot be created nor destroyed.
It can only be transferred.
So what that means is nothing is created.
It's always here.
It's exactly, everything is already here. I'm not creating beats. I'm using a program that has a template. Technically, every single beat was made when they made the program, because the sounds is all right there. The template is here. I'm going and I'm specifically seeing, and that's exactly how the universe works. Every possibility is here. Every dimension, every reality, everything is already here.
For sure, just the vessel.
We the vessel to see what specifically, what are we trying to manifest, or what are we trying to do, and we get away from manifesting so much that we make it magical. And that's my whole thing. We make a lot of things very magical. You know what I mean? But that's kind of what belief do. Belief is kind of like, you can't take this from me. If I think something, and that goes back to confirmation bias too. When you have this confirmation bias, and if you believe something that's going to happen, and then when you see it, bam, oh, I'm right. Because we all want to be right. You know, we all want to have information, and we all want to, you know what I'm saying, like, know what we're talking about. So when we was given a belief, and now we attach to this belief, now when I talk about this belief, oh, now you feeling attacked, and I'm not attacking you whatsoever, but you perceive me to be attacking what you hold near and dear and what you think is beyond. You see what I'm saying? And my whole thing is, we need to start disassociating with thinking that this stuff that was made from people, the same hands that was killing us, is beyond.
For sure. And that's why I take heed to guiding our direction, because I say it that way so that whoever is listening, they can understand it.
Facts. No, and that's why I like it. That's why I like it. Everybody had a role, and that's why that specifically is what I like about your role. About how I like what that is. You know, because it's a whole lot of acronyms for God: generate, operate, destroy, and a whole lot of things. But I like that guide. I like guiding our direction. And,
because like it's the fact of when me being so like how they say spiritual, but with me living in my spirit so much, I know that we're being guided. Like when like you
and then but specific. And that because that's so much we can talk about, because we can talk about being guided by systems at play. We can talk about being guided by past trauma. We can be talking about being guided by.
But it's going back to what you just said.
Oh,
specifically when you said that everything is already here.
Oh, right.
We're just a vessel for it.
Yeah.
That is our guide.
Right. Exactly. But and my thing is, I think our biggest thing is disassociating consciousness with us, or disassociating, you know what I'm saying, thinking that we not what it is. You know what I'm saying?
What it is, like just like how the perfect example of what you just said was when I said spirituality. I'm spiritual. No, you are living in your spirit.
Right. I mean, because the definition of spirit, or rather because they can change definitions, but the etymology of the word spirit means to breathe or to blow. So that's air, and that connects everybody. We need air to live.
And then
so,
spirit is our fire. So like going to Avatar.
Oh,
I know you see Avatar.
Oh, of course.
But like you have the fire. That's your spirit.
You talking about Avatar, the Last Airbender?
I'm talking about it all.
Oh, I didn't see the blue one. I mean,
I
it all played. You're right, because we can talk about real avatars and real like light bodies and different structures of that.
All Avatar, the blue ones was it was like if we was to take all the knowledge from the cartoon and take it and put it into perspective, we would wake up to our Avatar body. That's all the blue movie was talking about. That's all it was showing. Okay. Because it didn't say that. Right. But if we was to take all the knowledge from the cartoon, but I'm talking about Legend of Korra and Last Airbender. If we was to take all that knowledge and awaken, then that's what the blue Avatar would be. Like that's how our life would look. Oh, okay. Because it's like what it was is you have all of these. If you seen Wakanda Forever? No, I actually ain't seen that. Not even Black Panther? No, that's the thing. I don't watch a lot of movies, and I kind of feel out of the Avengers movies only because it was so many, and I'm like, I started getting overwhelmed to the point I'm like, all right, now I kind of like, I don't watch it. I only watched it for the black people. Shout out to the black people. No, I feel you. I know, right? I feel you. But like, it was, for me, I'm all about symbology. Yeah, of course. So yeah, definitely. So like going back to the Avatar, like the cartoon. Right. So I'm talking about the four elements. Yeah. Our 4 elements in our body. You have earth. That is our body. That is our physical. Yeah. Our physical thing, right? Our air. That's right. Exactly. Well, we breathe. Water. That is mostly our body. That is our saliva. Right. That is our blood. Yeah. The liquid inside of us. Right. Exactly. But then you have fire. Right, that's the soul. That's more connected to your electric. That's your spark. Our electromagnetic being. That's your spark. That's kind of, you know what I'm saying. That culmination is really what it is. That nitrogen. You know what I'm saying. That's what that electric spark. That's what makes us move. That's you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh, you're right. You can say that mobility. I like that. Because mobility. Mobility, it comes from like you lose mobility the more times you abuse your mobility. So it's just like a car. If you keep beating up that car, it's gonna lose mobility. Yeah, it's the same thing with your spirit and your soul inside. Like because you got, I'm gonna say your spirit because your soul is a part of the consciousness. That's what you work in. That's what you meditate to get towards. But your spirit, that's the personalized part of your soul that you live with every day. That is what that's what. I like how you have like a whole thing about like how, you know what I'm saying? Because I just go based off of the definition and the etymological origins of everything. So that way it's kind of like I don't have to put my opinion or my belief into it as much. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm talking about, because the original concept of a soul was your higher kind, your lower kind, your ba, which was your
that was the culmination of everything, because you can't have one without the other. You can't have low consciousness without your higher consciousness, and you can't have your body without being the culmination of everything. You know, so that's how you have the chocolate system. That's what I'm saying. So, but that was the original idea of what a soul was, and then going back to the etymology of spirit, meaning the breath. That's just how I look at it. So I look at air, helium being the first element, which is also why I believe that they call God He. He is the first element, but that's a whole another thing. That air is what connects us, because it's the least dense. You see what I'm saying? And exactly, and it's a densification process. And a lot of times we get so stuck in these dichotomies. We think that it's just physical imagination. You know what I'm saying? We think it's body, spirit, and we don't understand that. We don't understand that it's a progression. It's a transition. It's a spectrum. It's what's called the electromagnetic spectrum. And just like how you said, the carbon, which is on the surface, that's just the most physical aspect, and that's the most dense. But then the water is just a step above that. It's a little less dense than the air, less dense than the water. But the fire is even less dense. You see what I'm saying? Which is that spark that gives us. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that. That's the spectrum.
It's so lightweight in our body.
That's
we
when
don't feel it.
That's exactly, because we are it. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's deep too, because we are it. But anyway, and then Rod, Sun. Anyway,
because you finna get to rapping.
Oh no, I just be thinking about words.
Yeah, I feel it. I do the same thing. That's how I recognize it.
Yeah.
But my question to you is: is the Earth flat or round?
Well, my whole thing is, I believe that we don't live in I don't subscribe to the idea that we live in a closed system. First off, our ancient African ancestors talked about different universes, talked about how the universe is set up, talked about the densification process. It talked about the solar system. It talked about your soul system, which is kind of where it goes to, SOL, which is what sun for Latin, which is soul, is the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it all goes back. We already talked about space. We talked about different galaxies. We talked about different star systems. So my whole thing is I can't subscribe to the idea that we live under a dome, and because when I ask questions about it, I never get them answered. I'm a science guy, so if you telling me about like it's a glass dome, I want to know how it's got there. The best explanation that I've heard so far though was from some guy. I forgot his name. I think it was Embodied Conscious or something. His name, I forgot his name, but he had the best explanation that I've seen personally, when he basically said that it was lightning, which would go back to electricity, and then the electricity contacted the sand, and then that's what created the glass. That's the best explanation that I've heard so far. However, I still don't subscribe to that, because like I said, it's too much information about space. It's too much information about stargates. It's too much information about different planets and different molecular structures of these planets, different elements that are on these planets. Just me personally, I believe it's too much out there, and then on stuff that we didn't talk about. I feel like it's too much for me to believe that we live in a closed system.
So let me tell you this. Okay, so it's a sphere in my eyes. So like, look, when you look at it, I gotta show them too. Okay. I talk about this so much, but I don't show it. Okay, so. Alright, so you see this sphere, right?
Okay.
Zoom out a little bit. Alright, so when you see this sphere, you see how it's big. It's this big circle.
Right.
But the thing is, you have the bottom. That's where the water is. That's where the ocean is.
Okay.
That's where we live. That's where the land is, like the physical parts of the world.
Okay.
But then that's where you have your water, and you have your earth.
Okay.
That's that bottom part. But then this part, that's where you have your air and you have your fire.
Okay.
Because mind you, the sun is up here.
Okay.
Something else that's at the front of my mind, because last time I had this conversation with somebody that came to this information, they said if the sun is in outer space, why is outer space dark? Like that.
What do you mean by outer space being dark?
Like, why is it like
why is there no light?
Why is there no light?
How is there gonna be light if there's space between it?
Like I'm saying, like in outer space, like how they made us look at outer space.
Right.
If there's like, I get what you're saying about no space, but space is just empty area.
Exactly. So how's it gonna, if it's gonna have a color, it's gonna have to be dark. Because you got this when you talk about neuromelanin, talk about you're gonna have to talk about like dark matter and antimatter, exactly. Antiparticles and particles. You know what I'm saying?
This is where I connect it all, like as far as this dome, right? So what if everything that we know about the Earth is all inside of Earth? Like I'm talking about the planets, I'm talking about the stars, even the sun itself. It's all inside of this big dome. Because like, okay, so you have this bottom part, like I said, it's water and earth. Okay. But the top part is fire and air. Because when you think about it, all space is, like when you look up the word space, the literal definition of it. A continuous area or expanse that is free, available, or unoccupied. So when you go up high enough past the clouds, all that is space. So think of Aang, how when he finally went to go find his people, and he found out like they was living all the way up in the air. It was a whole civilization of people who life got disrupted in space. But it's like, that's besides the point. I believe there's people that live in space. But it's like, I believe like it's a whole Earth, it's a whole nother Earth up there. Just like how in Wakanda Forever, they went deep into the water. Because like now they got to build out the story. Wakanda, like Black Panther now, they are the Earth people. But then in Wakanda Forever, they went deep inside the ocean and they bothered the water people. The water people came and they showed how powerful they was. And they really shook up the earth people. So it's like you have the water people and then you have earth people. So it's like when we look at space travels and different things like that, my question is, did they ever even leave Earth's atmosphere? Because when you look at the layers, you have all of these different layers. Who's to say they ever made it this high? Who's to say they ever made it outside of the circle, outside of the sphere itself? Okay. Because everything in life is math. It's all geometry and science. Geometry, math, and science. Like that whole little web, it's all math. So it's like in a sphere, if you go up high enough into that sphere, like they call it a dome, but if you go high enough up into it, you're gonna be in space. You don't know what's all up there. So everything is based on your interpretation. So who's to say that all the planets and everything that we see, that we think we seeing outside of Earth, is ever outside of Earth? It's probably just outside of the atmosphere, the atmosphere layer of what we think Earth is. Because
I mean, no, definitely. Oh, my fault. Go ahead. Yeah.
And then to tie it back into what you were saying, like, okay, so going back to the sphere part, we live here. This is why the Earth appears flat, because we live on the flat surface of a sphere. Okay. And with this being the physical part, this is the spiritual part. Okay. Because it's all empty space. It's like I say it like this because it's not empty. It's space. It's spirit. Our spirits live in space. It lives in this energy. And then going back to like how you say like everything is all here. Akashic records is the world around you. It's the knowledge of how everything moved, how everything became. So it's like we walking in that area, in that energy of it all.
Okay. Well, when talking about the Akashic records, and it's so symbolic that you said that, but talking about the Akashic records, you will have to talk about the CDT plates, which is the Cloister Daru Torah plates. What is that? And these plates are basically, according to the MCEO teachings, which is the MCEO stands for Melchizedek, Cloister, Dora. Is it Melchizedek, Cloister, Emerald Order? Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order, I believe, is what it stands for, MCEO. And this is basically a compilation of all ancient sacred knowledge from the ancient Sumerian period, from Mesopotamia, from ancient Kemet, from Cairo, from just all over. You see, and it's basically a compilation of everything. So this is where I get most of my scientific knowledge from, and my Kelonic science from is what it's called. This is deep, real deep principles. But talking about the Akashic records, that they will be called the CGT plates, because these are when so we have to start looking at everything like a system. So this life that we living in, this electromagnetic plane, it's what you can call it. We can call it a plane, since it's a plane of existence. We have to start looking at it like we are devices, and we are machines. We operate. We can download certain information. We can emit, receive. Our ears are microphone, or our ears would be more like I guess it would be microphones. Our mouth would be speakers, and our eyes would be camcorders. So everything that we making is we are machines. We are devices, like I said. Now the reason why I say that is because the Akashic records, that goes back to Cathara grids and Cathara templates and the Cathara crystals, what you can call it, and that's where they get the idea of Christ from. That it comes from KRYST, because it was the crystal spiral, and the crystal spiral is the geometric. Go back to the math that you said. That's the geometric form that our consciousness takes. And then going back to the Fibonacci spiral, the Fibonacci is actually the geometric form for this physical plane. So, but our consciousness is based off of the crystal spiral. And when you put side by side the Fibonacci next to the Cathara and the crystal spiral, you see that the crystal spiral actually connects, and it stays connected to the 0 point, and it never goes off that. It's a perfect spiral, which is why our consciousness, that's literally how it is. You can think way faster than what you can do, because this plane is limited. So which is why I'm right. I don't know how you connect that, but that too though.
And I say that because that's something I have. A lot of times my brain moves faster than my body can.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what ADHD is.
Definitely. Okay, yeah. Facts. And the reason why I'm breaking all this down is because that's how deep the Akashic records is.
For sure.
It just got popularized. I just started hearing about it, the Akashic records. I've been knew about them before they was calling them the Akashic records, because they was calling them the CDT plates, the Cloister Dora Taru. These are real words and real deep things that we are not talking about. You know what I'm saying? And to go back to that, the Akashic records were again, it's an archive. It's you can look at it like a library. Imagine your thoughts are beings, because they are. We beings, everything is being, everything exists. Be means to exist. Mm-hmm. So our thoughts are beings. So the reason why it's called an archive and why they call it a library is because when we think, these are literal beings that are going to places. It's like, imagine you going to the library. That's literally what our thoughts are doing. And it's kind of like, that shit is so deep that we can't even fathom it. We can't fathom the fact that every time we think, that's a being. That's your being. It's a different, but that's a whole being that's you can say is living like you. It's a different, you know what I mean?
That's why they say that all the answers are inside you. You do not have to go outside of you for the answers. Everything.
I would always like to add a caveat to that, simply for the fact that right now they got us so messed up that you only can learn certain things through studying. But look, and the reason why.
But look, I just want to point this out before I let you finish. The reason why I say that is because you got to go inside yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where you go, you sit in your quiet time and you sit inside yourself and you ask God for the answers. You ask the Most High for the answers. Okay, so you get the answers. The answers isn't gonna come like this into your head. The answers are, you are going to be guided in different rooms, different spaces, to different things. Like my biggest example of that is that I guarantee you, whoever watching this video, us having this conversation, later on today, we are gonna find a video that speaks exactly to what we are saying. That's what I mean when I say guiding our direction, because we were guided to have this conversation, and we were guided to have a camera here to record it as well, so that the information can circulate properly. Yeah, because this is a catalyst to someone else's healing. Ours as well too. Because this is a good conversation.
I mean, that's how healing is. Like, we all heal together. You can't, one of us don't heal and then we heal.
And healing is knowledge. That's all it is. It's just knowledge. Like, we call it healing, but it's all knowledge.
Yeah, everything is light and information. So
for sure. Yeah. And it's like, and that's how you, like, that's what I mean when I say, like, you gotta go, like how you said, the being, like, you go inside and you get introduced to that being inside you that can go into these spaces that you cannot physically reach.
Right, exactly. No, I like that. I like how you said that. That's facts. And because at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to, you gotta, if it's you, then it's already inside of you at the end of the day, because we the ones that's perceiving this experience. So at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to that. But the reason why it's important to add that caveat is because it's valuable information that's accessible to us, and we don't look at it. We don't look for it. We don't, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we just get so stuck into what we believe in and what we in our confirmation bias, and we don't want to keep looking outwards or searching outwards and to bring it back in.
Right.
So
circulating the information. Because it's like, the reason why it is an outer world is because the outer world is to keep records of what the inner world tells us. That's the reason why people hold so dearly to the Bible, because when they didn't have that, when the outer world was trying to keep them from being in their inner world, the Bible was created. Because it
what you mean?
I said, I believe that that's the reason why a lot of people hold dear to the Bible. Because
what you said? What you were saying after that?
The outer world. That's
no. What you were saying when you were saying what it was created.
The Bible.
Right. When you were saying that.
That's what I'm saying. It's all like, let me just finish this part.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna start from the beginning. Okay, so you have the outer world and you have your inner world.
Okay.
Your inner world is the world inside of you.
Okay.
The spiritual world that we talk about, how we able to know things.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's that being that you was talking about. That being inside of us is able to go into spaces that we cannot get into.
Okay.
And I'm not saying like as far as like going to the library and different things like that. I'm talking about being with the Most High, the teachers that we can't see. Because doctors don't become doctors from reading books. They become doctors because they sit in that space in their mind and become that. I'm not even talking about doctors as in PhD doctors that go to school. I'm talking about healers like Dr. Seppi.
Okay, right. Because you're talking people
like
who study the okay.
I'm talking about those healers. I'm gonna say
real.
Healers and stuff.
Yeah, those real healers.
So it's like that's where they get their information from. That is the inner world. But then we have the outer world that keeps that record so that we can be reminded of our inner world. So it's like, that's why I believe that a lot of people hold dear to the Bible, because it was a reminder of your inner world when your outer world was against you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. I thought you was saying, because it was sounding like you were saying that we created the Bible because of the situation that we was in.
Yeah, it ain't like that.
Right. That's what I thought. Right. That's what I thought. That's what I sound like you was saying. That's why I was like, what? But I see exactly what you're saying now. I see exactly what you mean. Of course, because they studied us. So obviously, if they knew us, if they studied us and made us forget who we were, then they have no choice but to know us better than we know ourselves. So obviously, it was easy for them to make a Bible and then make us attached to our emotions to it. They fucking us up. Like, they fucking us up on scales that's unimaginable, doing shit that we haven't even.
Wild now.
Oh, what?
Amazon, they separate the and got all of these people to work for them, right? And now they having robots that's learning how to do the jobs that they hiring people to do.
So they finna just basically they finna have no jobs, basically. Yeah, I mean but we've been talking about that ever since, you know what I'm saying? Really, ever since technology been rising. We always been talking about the robots gonna take over, or you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's, you know, it's inevitable. That's why it's important that we need to let people know about things that robots can't do. We need to start getting into, you know, using our hands and being behind the scenes, manufacturing and doing things that are practical that we need, that robots cannot do. Somebody programmed that robot. A robot didn't program that robot. You know what I'm saying? Even though we technically are robots, but you know what I mean. So, you know, once we start getting back to that and we start really understanding, like, the power that we have and what we actually can do, you know what I mean? Like, man, like, that's really what it comes down to. But to continue to talk about, what was we talking about right before?
We talk about a lot.
I know, right? Like, it's so much. Like,
what I do want to ask you is music spiritual? Because I want the people to remember that you are an artist.
Oh, I know, right? Like, we just talk about something. I be forgetting about so much. Like, but yeah, music. So, I mean, where everything, like, it goes back to some deep shit. Everything is the electromagnetic spectrum, and the electromagnetic spectrum is emitted through sound vibration. So literally everything around us is sound. Everything is made from sound. Like, when I'm speaking, like, my vibrations are literally going through every corner of this room. You know what I'm saying? And sitting there, you know what I mean? Like, the more I talk, exactly, moving. Everything is in motion. So that's what it comes down to. So the music, that's why it's so important that they promote music that is not conducive to the growth of us. Not blaming the artists. The artists are in devastated positions. Obviously, they're gonna rap about the devastated positions. I will blame the artists who get out of devastated positions and still talk about it as if they in devastated positions. But I put most of the blame on these executives that's pushing all of this shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we focus too much on the artists when we going after. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. Certain, like I said, certain artists who get out of it, I feel like they need to be held. You need to be held accountable. If you got out of this devastated situation, but you still rapping about it as if you are in it, then you're not being real to us, your fans. I feel like that. You know what I'm saying? That needs to be.
You're not being a real model. You just playing the role.
That's what I'm saying, and exactly. So, but I put way more blame on these executives because y'all the ones who know what they doing. You paying them to do it. So what?
I call that Santa Claus. Because why Santa Claus belly so big? Because he feed off of everybody's energy. Right. And that's how he maintains his position. Like, type shit, because he gives gifts. So we satisfied. We give you some cookies and milk, and then we got some gifts. Oh, we good. Like, I kid you now, I woke up this morning, I went on Facebook. It said, why would y'all start a Christmas song like, you better watch out? Oh yeah, I just seen that too. Like, what you mean watch out? I just seen that. Like, that's real. I really thought about that. Like, how you start, you better watch out. What? You better not cry. You better not pout because Santa, whatever. But like, it's instilling that into watching. Exactly. That's what they saying. Yeah, I mean, and then, you know, obviously we know Santa Santa, you know, rearranged letters is Satan. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you didn't peep that? That's why you wear red and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was based off of, like, you know, evil things. You know what I'm saying? All these holidays. You know what I mean? But that's why it's called holiday. It's the day you holler. It's the day, you know, sound vibrations. So they controlling us through these holidays. If they know what we buying, they know what we doing, then they got our consciousness in this. Literally, and they collect data off of us. Side question. Do you know about Kwanzaa? I actually would like to celebrate Kwanzaa. Because I want to know how I went my whole life and I didn't know that Kwanzaa was something for black people. It's literally what we started. I want to know why, but I thought it was something like Hanukkah or some Jewish thing or something. Or I want to know why. Why I never heard specifically what Kwanzaa was, and I only just now heard about it because I was watching Dr. Umar. You know what I'm saying? I was watching his videos. Exactly what you're talking about. So I'm like, what? Like, why I didn't hear about this? And then I started looking it up. I'm like,
I've heard who. Now I'm wondering, where did I hear it from? What shows or movies was I watching that they said Boondocks? Oh, he talked about it.
It was on Boondocks. It was on
You right.
Proud Family. It was on
it was like scattered.
Yeah, it was on a lot of shows that we watched.
Cause I was very surprised that I didn't know about this. I'm like, we have our own little thing that we supposed to be doing, and I know nothing about it, but I heard about it. But I'm thinking I just time like some other holiday that they do whatever. No, I never knew that. But that was just, I just wanted to say that. Just I want to know.
It's a whole week.
That's what I mean. A whole week of learning about what you know what I'm saying. Learning about certain things. Man,
and
that's
what
cool.
it is it's a whole week to unite people, unite a family,
and we start organizing. Exactly.
Yes.
Like, man.
Like,
no, facts. But back to what we was talking about originally.
That's a conversation that we can really have off, because I got some ideas.
No, facts, definitely.
Man. Do you impress or inspire?
Do I impress and inspire? I hope I impress. I'm sorry. I hope I inspire. I hope I impress people too, though. At the end of the day, I do want you to be impressed. But that's not the goal. You gotta be inspired, because if I can impress you all day, or I can buy some things, or buy this and buy that. Oh damn, he got this. He got no. Like at the end of the day, I want you to look. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I want you to feel me. I want you to feel who I am and know like no, he know what he doing. I wanna not follow him, because I don't want people to follow me. I want people to grab what they feel is beneficial and use it and utilize it in their own way. You know what I'm saying? Like I want people. Like I don't want fans. I want people to support me. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Like when you have fans, you have a celebrity. That dynamic is like fans go to your show, listen to you. Okay, cool. Now it's done. But when you support somebody, I have no choice but to support you back. You know what I mean?
And like truthfully, the word that I take heed to now is influencers.
Yeah.
Like I respect that word influence, because just like how you influence me, I influence you.
Exactly. Hell
that's alchemizing.
I love that word. I love how you use that. Definitely, that's alchemizing.
And let's talk about this. Are you a product or a commodity of your environment?
What is a commodity?
A commodity is an asset that can be used for multiple different things. Gold is a commodity. A gold chain is a product.
Right. Wow. I love how you just broke that down. So I mean, I would hope I'm a commodity if I do multiple things, and I try to actively get in my community and try to speak on certain things, or I try to give people certain information, or I try to be a part of certain like I was just a part of this it was called Sip on Hip Hop, and it basically was like I should have invited you. I don't know why I didn't think, but I guess I was just going with emotion. In the moment he told me, come out, watch them doing something for the community. Oh, I bet I'm coming. But but next time I'm definitely taking you, because I feel like you could have helped with the stuff that we was doing, as well as you would have networked with the people that's for the community. It was with my old studio manager, Charzel. Shout out to Charzel. That's my man. That's my man. That's my boy. And so he basically was at the Sip on Hip Hop. We listened to a artist or whatever, and after the artist performed a song or a song or two, we had like a discussion afterwards. We talked about mental health, and we talked about how important is music, or how important is the message in your music. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we need to have more of those, just to get us started with organizing a little more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
shout out to Assata's Corner.
All right, yeah, facts. Shout out to Assata's Corner. Facts. I fucks with that. But definitely. So I would definitely hope I'm a commodity. I would definitely hope that people can hear my information and get my perspective and understand it and want to use it and utilize it in their own way. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's the whole utilization is a very important thing. Utilize. I mean, but then I go back to rapping, because unification. We need all these vacations. That's a whole other thing, because
we need to pay attention to words.
Words in general, facts, and we need to really pay attention to the suffixes and prefixes,
yes,
because those are the real words.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Let's talk about it.
Let's start with vacation. We have so many vacations around us that we don't even know the vacation.
Man,
did you peep that? When your phone rings, you get a notification. But some of us don't notification. Some of us think it's justification. Some of us don't peep what the hell is going on. A lot of us mystification. A lot of us don't have a classification. We don't do nothing with vacation, but with vacation is everything.
Always trying to justification.
We think it's justification. We think it's just. I'm telling you, it's so much more.
It's all part of the generation.
Exactly. it's so much mortification than what we think.
Man.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's when we really understand, then you'll see.
Communities that's
gentrification. They experience gentrification. Like that's what I'm.
Man, like words is so powerful. Like,
facts.
And that's have you ever heard KRS-One Health, Wealth, and Knowledge of Self?
That's a song?
Yes.
I'm already knowing I like it. I love whatever that man do.
Yesterday, I was walking in the snow, hands cold, but I had to take them gloves off just to rewind.
Oh yeah.
Because it's what he said in that song speaks to everything we've been saying.
Yeah, thanks.
And everything that
of course KRS-One. Like, come on now. Like, come on now. Like, I can't speak highly enough about KRS-One and his contribution. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he don't get talked about enough, and he'll never get talked about enough because of who he is, because of what he stands for.
And
you know what I mean?
Is he said it in the song.
Mm-hmm.
He had a conversation with the universal mother of all,
mm-hmm.
and he said that I want this gift. She said that she told him that in order to have this gift, you have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
This have to be this. This have to be like this.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I accept the challenge, and that's how he remained relevant, regardless
no, thanks.
of people not hearing about him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the thing is, people know exactly who he is.
Exactly.
But they don't know who he is because whoop whoop, that's the sound of the police.
Right.
That's KRS-One.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that was him. That's crazy.
That's literally his voice.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy. But just like you said, we know exactly who these people is. They always around because they set the foundation. There's nowhere for them to go. If you at the foundation of this, then this is built on top of you. You know what I'm saying? Like everything it has. You literally watching the story unfold. Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
It's people that's in those positions that will live past 100.
Yeah.
Like it ain't even like in a physical body.
Of course, because they art is gonna last forever. Especially if this world keep going downhill. That's when it's gonna that's gonna raise it the most. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I don't want to happen. Because I don't want. I feel like the world is gonna get so bad to the point where it's gonna be too obvious. But at that point, it's gonna be too fucking late. It have been too many systems in place that have been disenfranchised. You can't go outside. You can't do this. You can't think. They done got a chip in your brain where they monitoring certain thoughts. You ever saw that movie where they basically can look into the future and see who's going to commit a crime. So they're gonna get your ass before you even do it. So that's basically the movie, the movie was about basically this dude was running away from them because they were trying to get him for something that he was going to do. You see what I'm saying? I forgot what the movie was called. It probably was that.
It's not that.
It's not that. Oh, I don't know what it's called.
Is basically, they didn't get our generation.
Mm-hmm.
They got our parents and grandparents' generation to go fight a war in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And with how they got them is they told them exactly how they gonna die. So it's like they gave them a full rundown on how they gonna die just to get them, and they said, if you do this, whether you live or die, we gonna give you $1 million.
Oh wow, that's crazy. And that's a good example of how he is. You know, how we so easily exploited with money. You know what I'm saying? And of course we'd be easily exploited with money. You done put us in devastated positions. Like we need money. You know what I'm saying? Like and then that's a whole nother irony. They done made money, put us in devastated positions, and then said, okay, now come and get this to get out of this devastated position.
And this is why I made this poem. It's called Is Cash King or Is Consciousness?
What's the poem? Did you remember it by heart?
No.
Because I want to tell you a poem that I made. It's called What's a Hoe? And people love it. So this how it goes. Is what's a hoe by the definition? A woman who is easy and grow in the best conditions. You see, I'm sick and I'm tired of this whole story. You saying that she a hoe, but don't know it's a whole story.
Ooh.
Of background information that you ain't noticed. Amazing that you can focus, enabling what is whole shit. But what you didn't notice was all of the hidden moments involved in a woman's coping that caused it to get emotion. That's my poem on. It's called What's a Hoe. Cause it basically it's summing up everything. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's not just, you can't just say, oh, she a hoe, she did this. What about her past? I bet if you show me her past, I'll show you somebody who didn't grow, somebody who wasn't loved properly. You can't. It go hand in hand.
It's all relative.
That's exactly. It's all relative. Exactly. It's relation. But then they make us think that that's Einstein's theory of relativity. So now we don't even fully study relativity because we think, oh, that's just Einstein. That's smart people stuff. Not even knowing that a lot of stuff that he was talking about was stuff that was already talked about. Obviously, if we was already talking about, we already built pyramids. We already know about math, geometry. We know about all of this. So the fact that we even have all of these white people like Newton and this, and not to disrespect them, you know what I'm saying? Because when you do certain research, you will see certain contributions, and it could have been for that time because they thought that what they was doing was, you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But the whole time behind the scenes, they knew what really was the truth. They knew what really was going on. You know what I'm saying? But
because like they all know.
That's what
like
I'm saying.
Even the fact that the Vatican specifically. I'm talking about where the Pope lives. Yeah. Even the fact of them condoning letting slavery be what it was. Yeah. And they're literally praying to a black God, the Black Madonna in child.
Exactly. Facts.
Like, and it ain't like how they say like, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. No, it's an actual video.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. I didn't see the video, but I see the picture. So I knew I done seen it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I get that. That's facts.
And this is something that they do on the regular.
Worshiping you behind the scenes while you worshiping something that you like that man
twisting your reality.
Twisting your whole reality. They got you putting the idea of something before your family, the idea of something before what you can see. But in the Bible it says that. In the Bible it says that you don't love God if you don't put God before your family. I'm not putting God before my mother. I'm not putting the concept of something before something that, like, come on now, like, this don't make sense to me. To me, that don't make sense. And then on top of that, from an African perspective, we never just had a God. We always had gods and goddesses. You can't have a God without a goddess. So we always work with the principle of balance. Period. You know what I'm saying? That's the laws of my eye. The laws of truth, justice, and balance. And
it's yin and yang.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It goes back to that. You gotta have one. You gotta have both. You gotta have both in balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times, I mean, that's kind of the reason why they promoting all of this relationship division, because they don't want us to work together. You know what I'm saying? They want us to focus on, oh, women do this. Oh, no, man do this. Oh, no, niggas ain't shit. No, bitches ain't shit. No. First of all, if you saying somebody ain't shit, then you ain't shit. First of all, if a nigga saying bitches ain't shit, you ain't shit. If a girl, and I don't call, you know what I'm saying, but if a woman is saying that, then that's what it is.
You know what I say?
What?
How you feel about a person is a reflection on how you feel about yourself.
Exactly. Thanks.
That's the only way you know what it is.
Exactly. And that's why I always got to be nuanced with certain situations that happen. Like, it can, like, for example, it was like a girl that I was talking to, and I was talking to her every day. Like, I'm talking about on average 5 to 6 hours a day on the phone. Like, sometimes like maybe 2-3 hours. Sometimes like 8-9 hours. But on average, about 4, 5, 6 hours a day we average. I was talking to her every single day, and she went to Atlanta. She was telling me about she was going to Atlanta. After she went to Atlanta, I ain't spoke to her in like 2 weeks. I ain't talked to her. We talking every day, and it's not just talking. Like, we talking, playing the game. Now keep in mind,
it's a legit connection.
Keep in mind, I haven't met her, but it was a legit connection. I started meeting her. I started talking to her sister, talking to her brother, and I had a conversation with her mama. So I really was getting connected, and I thought it was going somewhere. You know what I mean? And when I was talking about the situation, and when I was telling her, like, right now we cool, but we can get back to that. We can get to that. I just want to kind of talk about this because this probably can help people. When that 2 weeks while it was going, everybody was just saying, "Oh, bro, she a hoe. She white band. She went down there. She did this. She did that." And she could have done that, but my whole thing is, what is that gonna do for me? How is that gonna help me? Be like, oh, she just did this. I'm gonna work on myself. She just a hoe. I'm gonna just get me some new bitch. Nah, that's not my mind state. Me, she was somebody who grew up with like sexual trauma, didn't have a father. Not saying like what can I expect, but can I cut her some slack? You know what I mean?
Cannot look at us as humans still.
Cannot, man. You feel me? At the end of the day, if I was in her situation, I would have did it. And I got to keep it real. If I was 22, I look good, young woman, went to Atlanta.
Yes.
I got to keep it real with myself. I got to keep it real with myself. If I was in that position, I probably, and this is all hypothetical. We never even talked about that situation, which kind of leads me to believe that that's what happened. But the thing is, the reason how we started back talking is because it's not like she like blocked me or anything. She was active on everything that we had. So that's kind of how I knew something had to happen, that she felt she couldn't talk to me, and that's why I had to cut her some slack, because I'm thinking you wanted to have some temporary fun, and you probably feel horrible afterwards because you probably thought about everything that we'd have been through, even if we haven't met.
And it was like one of those things where, why should I beat you up for something you already punishing yourself for?
Exactly, and of course you would get it. Come on now, of course you would get it. But that specifically though, because it's like that's what everybody want me to say. Oh, forget her, do this, why the bam? No, I'm not. This was somebody that I liked. You see what I'm saying? This is somebody that I actually felt like I really cared for her. Like. So I'm not gonna just be like, no, she just this or that. No, she was a beautiful person when I was with her. She still is a beautiful person. Just because she made a decision. Exactly. And then on top of that, keep in mind we didn't meet. So I can't put too much blame on her. We ain't meet. We wasn't together officially. We was building, but I can't put too much blame on you. We didn't meet. And then on top of that, you in Atlanta. You in a new experience. The job that she has. She's working like a 12-hour job, being not a nurse, but like a aide, and she basically got to help like old people. Like if they need their ass wiped, then that's taking all this into consideration. I'm not gonna be the one to put even more on her and be like, no, why you did this? You bogus as hell. Cause why would I come in with that type of energy? Then I would be bitter. You said exactly. I don't do that. I don't kick people while they down. And people love doing that. A lot of people, we get so...
Hurt people.
Man, for real, that's true shit. That is true shit. Hurt people will hurt people. And that's why she was hurt. Of course she hurt me. And it's not intentionally, obviously not intentionally. But that's what happened. You know what I'm saying?
So to switch the conversation.
Right, I did kind of get deep into that.
Yeah. Because I enjoyed the conversation because that's something somebody needed to hear.
Yeah, definitely.
But in saying that, what is the toxic trait that you have?
I feel like maybe I need to know everything. But I'm gonna say the caveat that I give for that: if I feel secure, then I really don't need to know everything. Hey, I'm having fun out here. What the bam? All right, talk to you later. All right, bet. Simple. If you go days without talking to me, I'm left in a state of disarray. Don't put me in a state of disarray. If you somebody we talking, I thought, you know what I mean. And
don't leave my mind to fill in the blanks when you could just keep
don't leave my mind to fill in the blanks, because that's exactly what I had to do in that situation. No type of this is what happened. No type. This is all hypothetical. I gotta compartmentalize this all to myself. And this situation happened it was like about some months ago. You know what I'm saying? But as you can see, it's still heavy on my mind. That's how much I cared about what was happening, where we was going. You know what I'm saying? Not to come back to the situation. Damn, my fault. But
it's true.
Yeah, but so it can't help people though. It definitely can't help people.
So another part to the question is, how do you hold yourself accountable?
I would hold myself accountable by being like how I did, be real and put myself in her shoes. Like how I said, if I was in her situation, I probably would have did the same thing. If that's what happened. Keep in mind, I have never gotten any confirmation on what she did when she went out there or whatever happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm just glad that we cool now. You know what I'm saying? Because the friendship started off of us playing the game together. So then I started liking her from that, because I'm like, oh, you play the game, you like anime, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard for me not to like you if you like all the interests that I like. But since that happened, I kind of was able to fix the situation and say, let's just go back to what the original intention was, and now we just play the game. You know what I'm saying?
It keeps you on your toes and reminds you that we all human.
Exactly. We all. Some people are not meant to be with you forever. That could. I'm thankful for the universe. I'm thankful to the universe for the fact that I feel like the universe purposely put me in that situation to show me that it was certain red flags that I ignored. That's number one. Certain things that I should have stood on. That was number one. Like for example, I want to have a wife and kids. So I want to get married, and I want to, even if it's not like like an official marriage, but I definitely want it to be a marriage officially with our families. You see what I'm saying? I feel like we need to go back to that type of thinking. We don't have to have a marriage with the system. We can have a marriage with our families. I go to your family. I say this was happening. Our families just agree. Okay, they want us. They say they married. They do what you know what I'm saying. So I feel like we start doing that.
A spiritual agreement.
That's what you know what I'm saying? It'll start being better because then we can start holding each other accountable. We ain't got to be all with the courts and hey, what you own and what you like this.
Like,
we can
that exact thing goes back to what we was talking about earlier about like, well, I didn't. This is not exactly what I said to you, but it's what I said in the text earlier. I said all the courts is the laws. This world outside of us is the outside looking in.
Right.
It makes them relevant.
Yeah,
they only are relevant because we give them that relevancy. Because we go to the courts and solidify because we go to those courts and solidify our marriage, they have a say so in how our marriage goes.
Exactly. Facts.
And that's with anything, with partnerships, with money, with like anything.
They got the power. They have the ultimate power. Exactly. And I like that you say we give them that power. That's facts. Because right now we do not have to. We like again, $2 trillion, $3 trillion. I think it's $3 trillion, man. Like we have the power. We have the money. Or rather, we have the money to get the power because that's another thing.
That's the power.
It is. However,
we don't have the control.
That too, but I like how you separated that too. But the reason why I say we don't have the power is because black people we are striving to get the money. White people are striving to get the power, which is why they have no problem with working with each other to have an invested interest in disenfranchising us. You see what I'm saying? They don't have to agree with each other, but they can agree. But they gonna agree that we're gonna all be on top of these motherfuckers.
Have you seen Power?
Only a little bit. Not
Force.
I don't think so.
Damn.
Because I don't watch a lot. I don't watch a lot of TV.
You just said the whole plot.
Oh wow.
Yes.
But that's kind of usually what I do when I talk. A lot of people be like, bro, you just said this whole movie. You just broke it down.
Yes, because okay, so Tommy, he's from New York. And he come to Chicago. Right. He came to Chicago. He went to CBA. I guess whatever it is. It's two black boys that started this gang, and it has a whole bunch of men in it. Okay. And so like they have all the connections that Tommy needed. So he got in this alliance with them. He wound up splitting them brothers apart, and then they wind up coming back together. But now, what he's doing is he creating a coalition with all the gangs in the city, and so that he can be the new connect. He he using them, right? But he's the outsider in it all. He's the one that has the most power and control. What they say, money, power, respect. Right. I want that money, that power, and power. So it's like he has the control. He has the ability to control people. He put fear in them. Yeah, that's fear control. Yeah. And then with him exercising that power, he sees their weaknesses. Like he saw Diamond kill his parole guard. Like literally slice that man's fucking neck. Damn. Yes. After because he came in there, he came in there while he had the money. He had the whole. He put the money in the coke all over him because he was so distraught. But it's like Tommy he's seen that with his own eyes. Right. And now that gave him power in that situation. He saw that man in his most vulnerable position. Right. And he saw what he would do at his most vulnerable. That's how they use people. Yeah. Because it's like when like that, and that's why like when it comes down to my YouTube, I'm putting my story out there. Because when the thing that they use to control us is our secrets. So if you have no secrets, if you are open book, if you transparent with your life, what can they use to control you? Right. Because you already you wearing all your scars. But with the things that they use to control people is when you trying to get your scar to heal, so you keep peeling it. Yeah. You don't want that scar to show. So you're gonna keep trying to cover up. You're gonna put that makeup over your face. you gonna go get plastic surgery. You gonna put all of these different things in place to where you don't have to deal with the reality of who you are. That's why you have a lot of old people trying to act young, or a lot of young people trying to act old. Like, when you okay with who you are, and no one can shake that inside of you, that inner knowing, then they can't control you. Facts. And that's where that fear comes in. For not for you, but for the people that's trying to control you. Because if they can't control, like Dick Gregory said, once you put those rose-colored glasses on, he said once you put those magic glasses on, once you put them on, you can't take them off. Right. But then also you can't make other people wear them.
I like that.
So it's like once you have that sense of knowing, only thing you can do is live in it, and then the people will gravitate towards you because they're inspired by you, and that's where influencing comes in. Like, regardless of what anybody say about Herb's baby mama Ari, I respect her because throughout her whole career, throughout this whole legacy that she's building, she built a bigger legacy than he did. And if we really want to talk about it,
I mean, you get, I don't have no retort.
Cause
you know what I mean?
She's international. Like, she has an international influence. Yeah. He has a huge influence in the music, but her influence was international because she gave that authentic Chicago girl image to where be who the fuck you are and don't let nobody tell you who the fuck you can be. And be okay with being who the fuck you are. Like, that's what she stands for, and she shows that authentically. And we got to see her fall, we got to see her rise, we got to see her whole flow.
Did she get her body done?
She did.
But didn't she say she didn't?
She did not.
Are you sure? Cause I could have sworn she said no.
She took a picture with all the doctors.
So
you can't.
If she did that, then I don't. If she did that, then I don't.
So regardless of whether she said she's,
okay, cool.
What it is
because that was my only thing. That was my only thing. You know what I'm saying? Just I want people to keep it real about whatever is going on. You know what I'm saying?
Is the procedures that they saying that she didn't do. Cause, like, for instance, this motherfucker. I ain't never heard this shit before. She got a internal bra into her body, like this, and this is why when I say, like, they said she said she had lipo, you could see the things on her back. But when you like this shit that people don't think about, like she have an internal bra, so she don't want her titties to sag, so she got a bra that goes like that, keeps her titties like this. That ain't something that people gonna assume that you did.
I ain't never heard of no shit like that.
Me either, until she did that shit, and she was and she's open about it. Like, she said she wanted her titties to sit up. And she wanted to do that, and I can't help but respect it. Like, if you want to get to drill some onto your ribs, cool. But man, but anyways, if you could be any animal, which animal would you be and why?
What animal? maybe I'll be a gorilla.
It's crazy how I just flipped the script like that.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah, true. But maybe I'll be a gorilla, like, you know, orangutan, something like that. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I feel like I have a real close relationship with my mama, with my pops too. But my mama, because you know, my pops was working, so, you know, obviously you had that dynamic too. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him as much just by because, you know what I'm saying, like, he's the one that's providing. You know what I'm saying? But it goes back to that thing. I always see him providing, and I always see her giving me love and nurturing, him discipline and structure. I always see him at work. So I never felt like it was neglect. You know what I'm saying? Every time I seen it, was always happy, always smile, always perfect. You feel me? Like, and the reason I say perfect is because I feel like perfection is when majority is good, and then, you know, you have little things. Obviously, you're not gonna always see eye to eye with your parents or with anybody for that matter.
Our bodies is perfectly made.
That's what I mean.
Perfectly imperfect.
That's what I mean. So that's exactly what I mean. I just make the distinction between perfection and flawless. A lot of times when we say perfect, we be thinking flawless. No, we perfect. Everybody's perfect. We just not flawless. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, what was I talking about? Oh, did I have a point? You said the animal. Orangutan. Yeah, the reason I was talking about the orangutan is because I just found out that the orangutan lives with the mother the longest. And even after they, go and find their own family, they come back and visit the mother. I did not know that, but obviously, why not? They just like us, like you know what I'm saying. So it makes sense. But that's the reason. That's the reason why I say that is because that was just very heartwarming to me when I was. I don't know if it was a video I was reading. I think it was video though. It was video I was watching. They were talking about that. It was real heartwarming. I never knew that. Like to have that recognition or even that type of knowledge to go back and visit, you know what I'm saying, your family, you know what I mean, like that's amazing to me. So
and also I feel like as people we don't respect our tribes enough to acknowledge that for what it is.
Yeah, like
when you go to these places in Africa and like these other foreign countries and stuff, because I watch a lot of videos from there, they whole family still live together.
Right,
they grow
yeah,
up and they create their own families, but they still keep their elders around because I read something where they said that if you have the grandparents, your parents can work, and then you have that foundation at home that is still raised, that'll still keep the kids on.
Yeah, thanks.
Because it's like that's what they're like. Once their job done with you, they have nothing else to do. Like think about it. Like they don't in Africa and all of in foreign countries. I'm gonna say underdeveloped countries. Yeah. Like in those countries, like they don't have jobs like we do. They don't value monetary stuff like we do. They trade goats. They trade. They barter. They still live in that society. Right. So it's like once an adult. Oh, my phone ain't even plugged up. Once they get old enough, the elders, they have nothing to do but to tend to the kids. Right. And it's like that's where they say that your phone is not gonna die. It's gonna let me know before it. Oh, okay. But because it was fully charged. Oh, all right. But like what it is what the thing I was reading said, if parents raise their kids, then they can be grandparents to their grandkids. But if parents don't raise their kids, then the grandparents have to be parents to their grandkids. Okay, I see what you're saying. So it's like if the family structure is if we're going back to building, I like your shoes too. Oh, thank you. Like if we get back to the actual family structure, like our grandparents and our great-grandparents and all of them, they will pass all the stories to the kids. Right. While we go work and do whatever the hell we want to do. Whatever we want to do. What we're supposed to do. Yeah. Like what we're called on this earth to do. We will have more time to do that because we know the tribe got the kids. That's why they say it takes a village to raise a kid. That's like true. I like that. I like that. I think everything got disrupted when we lost sight of that village aspect. We became so accustomed to this city life. These my kids. Don't you say nothing to my kids. Don't you tell me how to raise my kids and all this. We get in this type of this. It's really conquering the vibe because it's like we hold so strong onto the idea of what's ours. So we tie our ego to what is ours. And this even starts when we at the house, going back to the village. Everybody get a plate. This is my plate. If you reach on my plate, it's gonna be some problems. And we know this. You see what I'm saying? But this is just normal to us. No, that's not normal. Let's just all have one big plate that we all just eat together. And that's what they do in Africa. Like that's they eat with their hands. I know it is. But they eat with their hands and they do all of that. Like they eat communal meals. Right, exactly. And like even like it's this YouTuber that I really love. His name Mark Wings. And he go to like these different foreign countries and stuff, but he go to these villages. Okay. This the part that really got me. So he go to these villages and he go eat with the people. And when he go and eat with these people, he learn their traditions. He learn their way of life. And like, okay, so what they do is, okay, so say for instance they got a cow. Okay. They don't have cows in Africa, but well, I'm gonna say our symbolism of a cow. So when they finna slaughter that cow, they don't mass produce in Africa. They
Right.
kill as they kill as needed,
Right.
or as wanted, not as desired.
Exactly.
So it's like when they kill this animal first, they pray over it. Before they even take that animal's life, they pray over it. They because it's a literal sacrifice.
Right.
And then
it makes sense.
They don't get in the headspace of, I'm not eating that piece of it. I don't want that piece. Like them chitlins, no, I don't want that. Like, no, they cherish every piece of that animal because they prayed over it. They using it as.
But that makes sense to like you said, to cherish every piece of the animal because they have to sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
As a family,
Yeah.
So they create a whole bunch of different meals, and I ain't even just talking about like as far as like a mother, son, daughter, father. I'm not even talking about that. I'm not even just talking about with granddad, grandma, auntie, uncle. I'm talking about your whole block eating off of one animal.
Right.
So it's like that's why they use every piece of that animal.
Yeah,
because they got like different dishes, different meals.
Yeah.
That they making with the
That's
different
true.
parts. Like,
right.
Like they even ate the things nuts.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd do that.
Me personally, it's one of those like
right, like
you can miss me with it.
Right,
yeah. But knowing that they do that, it made me look at life differently about what I value. Because like even when like holidays just passed, people like I ain't eating no chitlins.
Right.
But it's like I actually tried it one time.
I ain't gonna try my chitlins. I ain't gonna lie to you. Not that.
I said the same thing.
And the reason I say that specifically is because they used to give us chitlins because that was just the leftovers that they used to just give us as scraps. So that's why I don't eat that specifically. But the other stuff that I don't supposed to eat, I be eating. I ain't gonna lie. Bacon, I love some bacon. That's what that's what I mean. Like, I know I shouldn't be eating bacon, but man, that bacon, that bacon be so good.
I feel like it's all relative. Like if we ain't supposed to eat it, we not gonna eat it. Like you ain't gonna just pick up some shit. You hungry as hell. You ain't gonna just pick up some shit and eat it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know you ain't supposed to eat that. You ain't gonna eat it. So if we're not really supposed to eat it, our body will tell us that we're not supposed to eat it. Like
I feel you. I feel that.
It would be one of those things.
You know, we do have this processed and GMO stuff. You see what I'm saying? So we ain't supposed to have that. But I see what you mean,
but
though.
Look, our body shows us that we're not supposed to eat that.
Right.
Because if you eat too many chips, what your face gonna do? It's gonna break out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah.
And then like when I weed off, when I had my body transition off of pork, and I finally ate it again, my whole face filled up with mucus. Because my body wasn't used to it anymore. Exactly. Like your body literally tells you what you can and cannot eat. But I had did that just to see how my body will react. Like I wanted to know, I wanted to listen to my body in that sense. It wasn't even about like I'm gonna stop eating this. I grew up on it. So it's like it's gonna be hard for me to like, especially when you don't eat all the vegetables in the food group. Yeah. So it's like it's gonna be kind of difficult for you to just quick cold turkey towards different foods. But like the reason why I started talking about this is because like it goes back to that village. Like we have to learn from our elders and our ancestors, like all of that. And like we have to know their traditions. We have to know why they do what they do. We can't just go off of social media and say like this, I don't like this because of this. Right. Like we have to we have to now denounce these different things in ourselves. So like when we asking you this, what is something that you want to be remembered for? What do you want your legacy to be?
Well, I would want my legacy to be I want it to be multiple things. I want it to be everything that I do. But if it had to be one thing, I would just want it to be
not one thing. Whatever.
Oh well, I guess my most important thing, I just start with that. Like the most important thing would be the words, just to understand words and rap and rhymes, just in general. That's just, I feel like that is the door to everything, because with learning, with being infatuated with rhymes and words, it's kind of like you have no choice but to learn because it's words. And when you look up a word, you have definitions and you have etymologies. And depending on what the word is, you probably got an acronym, you probably got synonyms, antonyms. It's like words is basically like a doorway to the information. And when you organize your rhymes, or rather, when you organize your words with rhymes, it's kind of like you are solidifying every single thing that you was learning. Because now you can use the words that you've learned in ways to convey them that's going to sound satisfying to the ear. Because that's why we like rhymes, because it's satisfying. We like, oh, this sound like you said that, then this sound like that, then oh, he rhymed all this, you know what I'm saying?
Like,
so
it's just us for justice. That said a lot.
Yeah, I like that. That's true. I like, and I love that. It's just us for justice. That's facts. That is facts. And man, that's true. I like that. And but yeah, so I think that's what I would want to be remembered for. And the reason I say that is because if people can step into that door with words and start realizing how important they are and how important you learning about just learning information in general, because whatever information you learn, you're gonna learn it through words. You're gonna learn it through either speaking, or everything is gonna come back to those words. And then and just to go deep for a little bit, our original word was the netta. You had nettas, which was our principles, our gods and goddesses. You know, because we never perpetuated any of our gods and goddesses as real beings. You only get Eurocentric way of thinking where we have today, where you said no, Jesus, he actually lived. No, Muhammad, no, that's actually a real person. But whatever you believe or not, you know, I'm not telling you to believe that or not. I'm just saying our original way of thinking about gods and goddesses, we never ever positioned them to be real living beings. We always positioned them to be properties, principles that we embody. So that way we never lose sight of what's important of us going inside and connecting with each other. You know what I'm saying? Go back to my aunt, balance. That's what we always had. We always had that balance between everything. You know, and that what's that word? The integrity, I guess you can say, the integrity behind it. You know what I'm saying? Because these are the principles and probably that we uphold. Yeah, exactly. And so that would be what I would want to be remembered as my legacy. And then I guess the other things would be like my animation. I want people to learn how to animate. You know what I'm saying? It's fun to me, so I would love to teach young black children how to animate, boys or girls. You know what I'm saying? To how to animate, or how to rap, or how to do anything I do, how to graphic design, or how to write, you know what I'm saying? Like, regardless, whatever it is, I just want to, you know, that's what I want to be remembered for, you know what I'm saying?
I got two questions. I got one I'm gonna look for, because I want the people to remember you are artists.
Okay, right.
Sure.
And we talk about so much except for the artistry, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
The whole thing is, I want, when I look at these conversations, I want people to know who you are.
Right, and plus I don't have a lot of music, so it's not like I can really be like, oh, follow me on this, and, you know. So definitely,
like, I want people to know who you are outside of what you do.
Facts. I love that,
because like, I feel like a lot of these platforms don't utilize it like that. And
it's crazy you just said that, because you just made me realize that everything I do is what I am. So it's like, to get to know me outside of it is you just don't get to know what I do more. You like, so that's crazy, yeah.
Because like, my whole thing about this is, I want to, everybody that I have a conversation with, everybody that I meet, everybody that I encounter, we got to make $1 million together. At least 1 million. Yeah, because
I feel like, because that's possible. I feel like when you start getting to the other levels, then I feel like you're gonna have to go through certain doors, you're gonna have to do certain things, you're gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like $1 million, I feel like that's cool. I don't think that's far fetched. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, you know.
$5 500 times a day for a year is $1 million.
You say 500? Say it again.
Selling something for $5 500 times a day, 365 365 days will give you $1 million.
Right. Facts.
And it's just that simple.
Yeah. So, man, that's not that simple, but I know what you mean, though.
That is simple, though.
But the reason I say that is because it's kind of like, it's not, if it was that simple, we'd just be doing it. It's still nuances behind things, and you know what I'm saying? It's don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we can't do it, but it's just, it's so many systems that would have to be in place. It's so many things, like, life is so complex right now. You know what I'm saying?
It is, but it's not. It is because we don't connect the dots properly.
I mean,
it's not because it's all math. If we do something efficiently, we can effectively improve it over time.
Right.
But if we start off doing something effectively, then it's going to be difficult to efficiently produce it over time. So it's like, we got to get out of the effective processes and start doing things efficiently. Because like think of it like non-renewable, renewable resources. Non-renewable resources, gas, lights. The fact that they burn in fossil fuels.
Right.
You're gonna run out of fossil fuels. The fact that they pump in the oil out the earth. You're gonna run out of access to that type of stuff. That's non-renewable.
It's effective.
Exactly.
But it's not.
But if you make if you harness hydropower, if you harness wind
solar
power,
right?
Solar power,
the
wind
natural
power.
the natural things, yeah.
If we go inside of ourselves and create from a pure place, from the abundance amount of information that we have access to, then that's simple.
No, I definitely feel that.
So when me saying that, I still got one more question after this one.
Okay.
But what is the meaning of life to you?
The meaning of life
and manifestation. Meaning of life and manifestation to you.
Oh, so two words. Okay. Well, the meaning of life.
I two questions.
No, that's cool. So to me, I feel like I'm gonna come at it with two different perspectives with life. So I feel like the objective meaning of life is to create your own meaning. I feel like that's objective because whatever you think the meaning is, or if you don't think it's a meaning, that's a part of the meaning. You see what I'm saying? So period, the meaning of life is to create your own meaning. Or if you don't want to create your own meaning, take somebody else's meaning, or don't think of meaning at all. But at the end of the day, that's gonna be meaning. That's gonna be what if that's what your life was, that's what your life meant. That's what you know. And not saying that that's what meant to happen in your life, because I know it's kind of hard to say, to talk more about determinism as far as like things being determined to happen, and it's hard to talk about things being determined to happen because we have been put in such a devastated position that we like, why would this devastated position be determined to happen?
I say it's all relative.
But again, certain groups, if they disenfranchise us, then we have.
So I forgot what we just left off.
I know, right? Like, yeah.
But the question that I wanted to ask you is, how do you stay true to your authentic voice while also pushing the boundaries of your creativity?
That's a good question. So, how do I stay true to my authentic self? Well, I always try to be honest with myself. Number one, you know what I'm saying? I always try to say. Well, how to be? That's a real good question. I really like that question. So, I guess how to be authentic. I guess I just be unapologetic. You know what I'm saying? I know who I am, and I think that's your person right there.
You can keep talking.
All right, but I think I know who I am, and not only do I know who I am, how do I answer that? Because that's such a good question. How do I stay authentic to myself?
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you sit on that question.
Okay.
For the future.
Okay.
But what is something that you would tell anybody watching this video based on our conversation?
I would tell them continue to learn, because if you're watching this video, then you got to be somebody that's trying to learn something, or you got to be on some type of journey. So I say keep looking, keep searching. Keep studying, keep trying to push the boundaries of who you are, or keep trying to figure out who you are. Keep going in the depths of who you are. And that's why I say definitely somebody who watching this video. Hell yeah.
For sure. So remind the people who you are and where to find you.
All right, Kevin Sales, So Symbolic, artist name. I don't really have no music out on platforms. I got like freestyles here and there, but you can follow my YouTube, The Deepest. All right.
I almost forgot. You gotta drop 8 bars for us.
I forgot. Right. Facts. Okay.
Yes. Well, you
cool.
got to, but
no. Why not? So I give you a couple verses that I wrote, and then I give you like a freestyle.
All right.
Okay. So I say, and I never thought I could make it. Living in a world where emotion is so adjacent, the moment is cultivated by broken pieces of patience. Rearranging and slowly reaching a state where the only thing it should make is the coping we ain't escaping. Cause deviating can only depreciate the results of a league and nation it ultimately created. And then I was like, synchronization, our kundalini can parallax, like graffiti, a mosaic connecting back to the, connecting back It was something, but it was, you know, it was something like that. That was like one of the, it's like that was like one of the first verses on my song.
So much.
In such a short time, though.
Yes.
But that's kind of how rapping is. That's why I love rapping. And what's another verse? Do I have another verse that I remember? I was like, I'm from the deep dark dungeon beneath blocks, struggling with peace. I wonder if Enoch structuring agree. Or matter of fact, I want to read that one because I really like that one. So I want to read that one just in case I don't mess up. So that was called Dark. Yeah, here you go right here. So I said, I'm from a deep dark dungeon beneath blocks, struggling with peace. I wonder if Enoch structuring agree. Yacht crumbling each rock, hovering to reach spots another can see not. Raise up and reveal, wake up and you still sleep. Cutting this deal, I can't shuffle it real deep. The hand we was dealt, abandoned, we stranded, we stand by ourselves. A cancer to health, a fan to the wealth brands and accept bans in advance for the felt sand. Kept saying it was left in the sacred text, swept in the cradle kept next to the baby steps. And I made it rest, slept in the face of death. Breath could erase it, yet flesh could evade the depths. And then, right, so then I guess now I freestyle. I just say something off the top of my head. So I say, sitting here having a conversation is making me think about how we really just operations, computations, imagination. Imagine taking every fascinating thing in your mind and calibrate it. Imagine if we could do it. Imagine if we could take it. Imagine if we could organize man in a classification or organization, change perspectives and orientations. Try to show every single thing that we could do in the form we could make it. Or maybe it was fortification or going back to the vacation, back to the way that we could actually create it, back to the way that we was actually placed in, back to the way that we can actually imagine what we could do, man. Just imagine. Matter of fact, don't imagine it, let's do it. Let's stop being so succumb to these illusions and start looking past the Constitution, because this is really just a lot of convolution. And if I can do it, then y'all can do it. And if y'all can do it, then we all can make it. And if we all can make it, then I guess it was hard to say it. But if it's not an obligation to rap and make it an obligation, or maybe an occupation, not an obligation. There's too many words that rhyme with I and A, because I can just say it, or I can make it, or I created every star created, or every constellation that the star could arrange in it. But it's just easy, you know what I'm saying? But it's not too easy making it. Maybe it's just me complacent it, me rearranging it, or me being elated that I can coalesce in it. But don't accept this shit. Don't respect it. I'm so effortless, especially when I go and I don't step in. I keep stepping. I prerequisite. I go deep in it. And I show you niggas that I'm so devious. Matter of fact, I'm obedient because you obeying. And I go and rotate the shit. I don't say it's okay, but I show you what oasis in my domain of print. I'm just saying whatever is off my mind, these languages, but my lane, it can shift to a whole nother lane that you ain't maintaining, which is the reason why you can't play with this. I'm just stopping at that because I can keep going forever.
We out of here.